How's everybody doing today? Just give a little introduction about myself for my channel, I guess. My name's Mike. Sometimes go by Michael if you guys see me on Facebook or whatever. Um, my flight handle is Marius FPV. Marius just goes back to an old gaming tag that I used to have. Marius 357. I've been using the same gaming tag in every game that I've played since, I don't know, 1999. Used to be real heavy into video gaming and building PCs and all that stuff. And, we used to do a lot of competitions and ladders and tournaments and, went to a couple competitions here and there. But anyway, enough about that. That's just where it came from. It's just the first thing that I've typed in and I've kind of just stuck with it. But just to give you a little intro. So I got into drone flying and freestyle and racing a couple months ago. Really been looking at it for about a year now, honestly, just kind of researching everything and what it would take to build one and price wise and component wise and, really researching everything because that's just kind of the way I am. If there's something I'm interested in, I really break everything down and research everything and try to get as much knowledge about what I'm getting into and what I have as I possibly can. So yeah, I did that and sat down and figured out, a price point of what I could feasibly spend and realistically spend, and just kind of started saving up money here and there and putting things away and figuring out what I wanted and configuring my cart and, getting all the pieces together, so to speak. So I finally did that around November. Went ahead and bought everything, put everything together. Had zero experience when it came to anything drone or quad related, racing, freestyle, how to build anything, put anything together. I hadn't done anything with any remote control, real remote control, anything since I was probably 11 or 12, and that's a little RC hydroplane boat that my dad bought me as a kit, and I built and put together, and used to run that thing here and there, and hadn't messed with it in years. So I literally had nothing. I didn't have any chargers. I didn't have any batteries. I didn't have anything at all. So I started with scratch and worked my way up and kind of, I have all the components that I really need right now. Just, there's things that I'm going to try and things that I'm going to end up buying and, just kind of get my opinions on them. And, it's, way I look at it is it's really kind of a learning experience and a learning curve, and this sport and hobby definitely has one. So just giving my perspective on somebody who's brand new to the hobby, coming in and trying to figure everything out and trying to learn everything. And maybe I'll have something that I've tried that I like or don't like, that you guys like or don't like, and we might agree on things, might disagree on things. But in the reality of it, I really started this channel really for myself. I've had a YouTube channel for a couple years, really haven't posted anything on it. I created it to help my mom out when she was actually part of her job when we used to do the obesity walks. I'd go in and take some pictures and put together some videos and that kind of stuff just for their promotional purposes. I did one for an autism walk for my son. He actually is autistic, very, very high functioning, but we did an autism walk that he participated in, a couple of them. So I took some photos and put a couple videos together for them for their promotional stuff as well. So that's really why I had it. But since I have it and I'm taking these videos and, using the DVR footage and that stuff, I'm really using this as a place to just upload my videos, really and truthfully, to get it off my hard drive. I'll keep some videos here and there on my computer, I'm sure, but the main focus was for me just to upload them to YouTube. That way I can just kind of delete them off my hard drive space. That way I don't have to, do remote hard drives and everything else. And I'm sure at some point I'll probably get one. I got one now. It's a terabyte. I just haven't formatted it over to my Mac computer. But yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. So, I'm going to post some videos here and there, and I'm going to do some, not real in-depth reviews, but just my opinion on products that I use and products that I see and that I try. There's always going to be somebody out there that does it better than I do. I'm not going to get real technical into it. because one, I don't have the equipment for it, and I don't have the knowledge for it. I can't go in there and tell you the radio frequencies and, you know, how it does this, and have the testing equipment for it to find out which one's better. There's people on YouTube that do that far better than I do, so I'm gonna let them do what they do. Again, this channel is really for me, just to kind of chronologue my flight experiences, and it's gonna be real fun to go back, you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, and just watch my progress as a pilot, and you know, how much I've learned in this field and this hobby. And I really do love it so far. You know, I've been in it for a couple months, like I said, and I fly almost every day. I really do. I got 7 battery packs. I fly 7 battery packs almost daily. As I get more batteries, I'm sure that will go up. You know, as I get some more time, I'm sure that'll go up as well. But that's kind of what I got, and that's what I do every day. Constantly getting better, constantly improving. You know, just from November, when I first started in my first maiden voyage with my quad, the level of progress that I've made so far is just awesome. I'm definitely not a professional by any means, but I'm a whole lot better than I was. You know, the day I did my first roll, I was so ecstatic that I didn't crash, because I've been trying for a while and crashing, and finally figured out the whole zero throttle thing, and yeah, that totally made a difference. But it's kind of where I'm at. So today I just want to kind of go over my rig and, you know, what I have in there, and go over why I have some of that stuff in there, and we'll go from there. So if you like my channel, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. If you like it, subscribe. I'm setting a personal goal this year, at least trying to hit 500 subscribers. So hit that like, hit the subscribe, go from there. All right, let's go over the rig. So this is my rig. It's the Armattan Chameleon, 5-inch titanium. It's got the titanium cage on the front. It's got, you know, typical Chameleon. Running the T-motor. Let's see if I can get that in there. Anyway, T-motor F40 ProIIs, 2400 kVs. Just saw a bunch of reviews on them. Saw they were good quality motors, good quality company. Just kind of went with that. You know, I try not to buy cheap components when I can. I learned a long time ago that sometimes buying cheap is not the best way to go, because you'll end up spending more money just replacing stuff. So again, I did a lot of research for a better part of a year on components and what I should get, and what were some of the better quality ones up there. And, you know, just kind of settled on the T-motors. And I got to tell you, man, I really, really do like them. They've held up really well. You know, they have a lot of lift, and they've stopped really well. And man, they've just performed really good. You know, everything that I have in here has performed really good for me so far, especially being a new pilot, and the amount of times that I've crashed and just kind of tore everything up on here. I don't think there's not a single component in here that I haven't broke at least one time. So yeah, with that said, man, the Armattan Chameleon frame, I bought that after looking at the reviews, and really, to be honest with you, the warranties, what brought me in and what sold me on it. You know, lifetime warranty, yeah, you pay a little bit extra for the frame, but to be fair, you know, something goes wrong, man, you send it right back to them. They'll get you out a new one. And I haven't had to do that yet, because to be honest with you, in the 90 plus crashes that I've done, I haven't broke anything on the frame yet. It's got some scratches here and there, and it's dirty right now. I need to clean it, but I'll get to that probably today. And that's kind of why I'm making the video, because I knew I was going to kind of open everything up and clean it all up today. But yeah, so I got the Foxeer Falkor camera, running the, I think it's the 2.1 mil lens on it. Again, it's a little dirty, but you know, that camera's held up and functioned really, really well, and I really do like it. You know, one of the tips that was kind of told to me was go in there and put some hot glue on all your connectors, and you know, yeah, it adds a little bit of weight. But what I did run into is, after crashing so many times, and I know it's different for professional pilots that don't crash all the time and crash as much as I do. You know, the little crashes that I was having, the wires were coming loose and they were coming out of there, and it was just kind of always something. I was losing sensors or losing camera signal or whatever the case may be. So I started putting the hot glue up there, you know, anytime I fix a component, and it really, really has made a difference. I don't get near the amount of errors that I used to get. So have the Clracing F4S flight controller. Really like that flight controller. Looked at the reviews. It just seemed like it was a little bit easier to set up for somebody that was brand new, coming into the hobby, not real familiar with boards, and You know, my soldering skills, obviously, clearly you can look at it, are not the best in the world, and this is a far cry improvement of where I was to begin with. But went with the CL4S Racing, or CL Racing F4S flight controller, and I haven't had any issues with it. Even with my crappy soldering skills, it's held up and it worked right out of the box. Haven't had any issues. Was really, really easy to put together. One downside I will say is, while their documentation was okay and it was easy to follow and understand, there was a few things that were just lacking on it for somebody that didn't have a whole lot of experience. But kind of just followed the pictures and went along. Definitely pulled up some YouTube videos and different people just wiring everything together and putting the different components in, and went from there. So yeah, running the TBS Unify Pro HV, running the FrSky, or FrSky, as I am. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that, slaughtering that, but FrSky XSR receiver. And to be fair, it's one I got for free when I bought my transmitter. I bought a used Taranis Qx7, and the guy I bought it from sent me that receiver. So it was used when I got it, and I tell you what, it's yeah, I've definitely put it through its paces. I've had to replace the antennas on it a couple times already, and as you can see, I just got the antennas coming out the back here. Have a zip tie going down, and then the antenna and some heat shrink over top of it, and just kind of went down. Running the Immersion RC antenna right now, and to be honest with you, I'm getting ready to replace that one, because as you can see, it's pretty frayed right there. But again, this is the first antenna that I had. It's the first one I've ever used. And again, it held up like a champ. You know, anytime that I crashed it, wrecked it, whatever, it was bent, and I would bend it right back into shape, and haven't had any issues. But, you know, over time, bending it back and forth, things are going to break. I understand that. I know I'm going to have to replace stuff. But yeah, it's I think this antenna is just about seeing the end of its day. So I gotten some new ones on order, and waiting for those to come in. And once I get my opinion on those, you know, I'll make a video on that and post that up. Running the Speedix 30 amp ESCs. As you can see, I got some electrical tape kind of holding everything together, and yeah, it's dirty. I spent a lot of time in the grass. So I'll go through and clean that up today. Right now, I got the Lumineer butter cutter props on there. And this was the first ones that I bought. And to be honest with you, I bought them. I like the look. I bought them because they were on sale. I like the colors. These are the Wild Willy pink, and then just the black that they have up there. I love that color combination. I don't know why I do. I just do. You guys say what you want to. I like it. Overall, I like the props. I do. It's just they seem to bend really easy. With that being said, they bend back really easy, and they seem to hold up after bending back, and they fly okay. The only downside that I've found, and again, I'm not a professional reviewer or anything, but when they bend, they always seem to bend down, and I end up smacking my ESCs. And as you can see, that's where a lot of my electrical tape is missing, just because, yeah, I crash. I crash a lot. That's what happens. But so I've tried the Gem Fan wind dancers, and I got to tell you, I really like the Gem Fan ones. I really do. Again, I'm running Lumineers right now. I don't have the Gem Fans up there, just because I'm down to like 2 packs, and I'm trying to save those. Whereas I got probably another 10 packs of the Lumineers to go before I'm through with all those. Will I keep some Lumineer? Probably, honestly, just because, again, I like the color combination, and they do work, and they do work well. It's just I don't like the way that they bend when you do crash them. Running an XT60 plug. Had to wire that up on the back. I do have the TBS Unify wired directly into battery voltage. You know, had a lot of learning curves with that. I was losing video and here and there, and just didn't understand why. And my soldering was crap, and I was trying to run it through the board, even running it on 9 volt. For some reason, this flight controller just does not like that video transmitter running through the board. It just does not. I don't know if it just wasn't getting enough video or enough voltage, or whatever the case may be. Just always had issues with it. Ended up running it right off battery voltage. Haven't had a whole lot of issues since then. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, this is how often I crash. And You can see a lot of the damage from it right there. Do got the Race Day quad battery strap up there right now. My Ethics ones that I had up there, I cut those all to crap the other day during my crashing. So I'm down to this one here. Race Day quads, thank you for sending one with every purchase. I appreciate it. I got a bunch of them as backups. I'm only running one now because my box of parts is at the house and I just didn't have them with me. Went in, bought a charger. I got the C1 XR charger from Easy Peak just because it was relatively cheap. Seemed fairly well and easy to understand. You know, went in, bought an adapter to be able to charge all my stuff. I do have the Rotor Riot 1300 milliamp Enough C battery packs. I bought 4 of those initially. Ended up messing one up like the very first day. For 20 bucks, they're not bad battery packs. They're really not. They hold up really well during a crash. As you can see, I got a couple of them that are just kind of bent and here and there. The first one that I had to replace because, to be honest with you, one of the props ended up hitting one of the lipo cells and slicing that, so I discharged it so I could dispose of it safely. They hold up well. You know, again, I'm learning, so I haven't had the best battery storage techniques in place. I'm working on getting better with that. So these are a little saggy. So because I do buy a lot of stuff from Race Day quads, I went with the Race Day Quad series, 1300 milliamp, 100C batteries, and I got to tell you, between these two batteries, I got to give it to the Race Day Quads all day. The Race Day Quads ones just seem to have a whole lot more thrust. I really think they are a true 100C battery versus the Enough C, which is supposed to be 100C, but even Rotor Riot themselves in their video stated they knew it wasn't a true 100C, which is why they put Enough C on it. But the Race Day Quads ones, man, yeah, they're night and day difference between flying the two. I didn't understand how much difference a battery would actually make, but after just the difference from these two, I can tell you it makes a huge difference getting better quality batteries. I can't afford the Thunder Powers or, you know, the tattoos or anything like that. Will I end up with a couple packs of them here and there? Probably so. Would I like to try out a couple of those packs just to see what the difference is? Absolutely. Do I have $40 to drop on a battery that I know I'm probably going to crash and tear up? Not right now. Not saying I won't ever get to that point and I won't have some, just not right now. I'm still learning, still trying to piece everything together, go from there. So yeah, that's kind of my setup, little voltage meter there. I do have the Fat Shark Attitudes, and let me get those real quick so I can show you those. So I got the Fat Shark Attitude V4s, bought these used off of eBay, to be honest with you. The reason why I kind of went with these, one, because they're cheaper. I couldn't afford like the HDOs or even the HD3s were kind of a little out of my price range. So I found these on eBay for like 200 bucks. Already came with the module versus like the D3s and HDOs where you got to buy an additional module. The original Fat Shark module that came in here is not bad. It does its job. I didn't understand the difference or know how much difference the module made. So I ended up getting a Rapidfire, Immersion RC Rapidfire module. And I got to tell you, man, that thing, night and day difference between the stock Fat Shark receiver and this thing. It is a diversity module, performs really, really well. I will go ahead and say that I don't know if it's the DVR issue that Immersion RC and Fat Shark have. I don't know if that's just a D3 and an HDO issue or what, but I'm getting the same black screen, same lines as all the videos that I've seen from the DVR issues. The only difference is I can't update the firmware on the Attitude V4s. With the D3s and the HDOs, you can update the firmware. I can't do that, so I think I'm kind of stuck. I think I'm just going to have that issue. So I am running the Falkor camera, and I shouldn't have to run that Falkor camera in Legacy 2 mode, not to my understanding, or not Legacy 2, but Rapidfire 2 mode. It should be Rapidfire 1, is my understanding. It's on the list for compatible cameras. But I believe due to the DVR issue, I'm having to run it in a Rapidfire 2. I don't know why. Maybe that's just my setup. Maybe that's just the way my components are. I know with electronics, if you swap out one thing, it can make a world of difference. But that's just the issue that I'm running into. So the stock 100 milliamp Fat Shark battery It's just horrible. I'm just not even gonna lie about it. It's horrible. That's why they sell the 1800 milliamp upgrades. Because the 100 or the 1000 milliamp, man, it does not last. Running the DVR and the goggles, and this is with the stock receiver before I even put the Rapidfire up there, I might get a good 45 minutes to an hour worth of flying. And then it was dead. And charging issues, I had to charge it at 0.1 amp, and man, it took like 6 hours to charge that thing all the way up, and it was just such a pain in the ass. It really was. So I ended up, didn't get, any of the modules or anything like that everybody else has. I got the Tattoo 2500 milliamp. Really like it. It's got the little LED, so you can kind of see how much space or how much juice you got left in there, and I'll probably charge this up today. But I can actually do a true balance charge on this, where the Fat Shark you can't. I even did the 9-volt reset mod and everything, and it didn't work for me. So it's sitting at home. It's a backup battery in case something ends up happening with this one. But with this one here on a full charge, running my fan, running the DVR, running the Rapidfire, I'm getting 5-6 hours worth of flight time easily before I really have to charge it. Here it's at 30% now, or roughly 30% anyway, what the LED shows. And to be fair, guys, this is on like 5 days of flying, 7 packs a day since my last charge. So it really holds up well. Antennas for my goggles, I'm running the Immersion RC right-hand polarization, or right-hand circular polarization antennas. I got 2 omnidirectionals up there right now. I do have the patch antenna. I'm just not running it because a lot of what I'm doing is just close proximity. Again, just kind of learning and honing my skills. The other day, all I did was power loops for 7 battery packs. I mean, seriously, crashed my quad, broke a lot of stuff that day. I really did, but really got a whole lot better. But that's what I'm running right now. I do have the patch antenna, the Immersion RC patch antenna that came with the kit at home. I haven't even ran it and tried it out yet, but I will at some point in time, I'm sure. Just this is what I got, and this is what I've been using, and it seems to work for me. So here's my receiver, or my transmitter. It's the Taranis Qx7. Again, I bought it used. It already had the M7 gimbals put in it. It already had some of the updated little covers and that stuff. They already had done the Crossfire mod on the inside of it. I'm not running a Crossfire receiver, obviously, and not running the Crossfire module. I will at some point in time, but just managing my funds and my budget, that's what I got. So it was already hydro dipped when I got it. I really like it. I think it really looks badass. Works for me. I did go in there and update the firmware, and I went in and changed a lot of the sounds. Put the, I can't even remember what sound pack I put up there now. I think it was the Amber sound pack, but put that one up there. And it's really worked out well. I really do like it and enjoy it. And it does have the rechargeable battery in the back. It's a Pulse 3800 milliamp battery, I believe. 2-cell battery that's powering my transmitter. That battery holds up well too. Only have to charge it, once every like 8 or 9 days of flying. So I don't run into a whole lot of issues with that. Just really don't. But yeah, overall, that's pretty much my whole setup there. And I do have, I bought everything, and I'm kind of a bag whore. That's my daily carry bag that I have there. This is my FPV bag. So it's one of the cheap outdoor products, like 20 bucks from Walmart. Seems to work. Bought it because it had the little clip there on the front, and that's usually where my quad lives. Usually I have a couple battery straps down here that are just spares. As you can tell, just kind of none there because I chopped up my other ones. Usually when my batteries are charged, I put them on this side. When they're discharged, I put them here just because I don't have the caps to keep up with everything. A bunch of miscellaneous tools. I got my Ethics neck strap. My fiance actually bought that for me for Christmas. Really like it. Works out well. But a bunch of miscellaneous tools and adapters and various stuff in there just to keep up with everything. Different cables, that kind of stuff. As I go through, maybe I can get this to open. We'll see. Probably not too well. Anyway, inside I got my various props. Like I said, I got some gem fans in there, the wind dancers. I got a couple packs left of those. My Lumineers. The Lumineers I actually have set up with a clockwise and a counterclockwise bag, just because that seems to make it a little bit easier. for me when I'm in the field and having to switch out props, which I have to do quite often. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm down to right now. Got left of those gem fans. I do got some more in my little box at home, but then when you open up the inside, there's plenty of room for everything. Yeah, it's not a FX transmitter bag or FrSky or FrSky or whatever transmitter bag. It's a little Jack's lunchbox that I had laying around, just kind of keep everything from scratching up my transmitter. I don't have gimbal protectors yet, and we'll look at getting those. I know I need them, should have them up there, just don't have them yet. The one guy that I know that has a 3D printer, to be fair, I built the 3D printer for him. He's a younger guy. He got it for a graduation gift from graduation from high school. It's one of my co-workers' sons, and put that together for him. And you know, the deal was you put it together anytime you need anything printed, then you know, just shoot me the file and I'll print it. Well, shot him the file. I'm still waiting for it to get printed. He's having some hotbed issues, and so I'll probably have to go over there and fix that for him before I can actually get anything printed that I need. But that's kind of what I got, and just wanted to go over everything and show everybody what I had, and you know, kind of where I started and how I started, and we'll kind of go from there. So yeah. So again, that's what I got. That's where I started. This is what I started with. You know, again, this channel is really for me more than anybody else, and me just kind of keeping tabs and keeping track on how I started and what I started with. And, you know, I'm going to enjoy going back 6 months from now, a year from now, and a couple years from now and seeing the difference. You know, I'll go over what I got, and, you know, anytime I get anything, I'll give my opinion on it and what I think, and if I think something should change, or what I found that works for me, or that I found that was a little bit easier, and go from there. So if you guys like what you're seeing, or like the video, again, subscribe. My goal this year is hit 500 subscribers, and I'll probably keep that goal for the next couple of years until I get some numbers behind me. You know, I've already been to one race so far. At the end of 2018, I went to one race. It's just a head-by-head race down here in Stella, North Carolina. It was Crystal Coast Multirotor Racing held a race. They generally do head-to-head. I'm a member of their multi-GP chapter. I'm also a member of the Jacksonville, North Carolina. What is it? Let me get the name absolutely right. Jacksonville, North Carolina Drone Racing Club. Just want to make sure I got that 100%. I knew it was Jacksonville Drone Racing. I just want to make sure I got it 100%. But yeah, that's you know, trying to promote this stuff in Eastern North Carolina, trying to get more people. I know there's some chapters once you get out towards Raleigh and get out towards the western part of the state. There's some multi-GP chapters out there. As far as Eastern North Carolina, you know, Jacksonville is going to be about the closest one that you guys got. You know, I'm a member of those two. It's a really good bunch of guys. They're really helpful. You know, they've helped me a lot with everything from the purchasing phase all the way up to the building phase to the, you know, my very first race. And even now, they're I mean, just a good group of guys. They really, really are. And they're constantly working, constantly striving to get better. Between both chapters, there's usually 1 to 2 races a month. Can't really knock that. That's a fair amount. So go from there. Well, it's about 27 degrees outside today in Eastern North Carolina. I'm going to go brave the cold and fly some packs, and I got a little makeshift gate that I'm going to go hit later, and practice working on that and working on my skills. So, you know, until the next video, see y'all later. Hope y'all stay safe and have fun.